Hey, so a very warm welcome everyone to our 7th meetup of the year. Escape the Rat Race, #7 for you tweeters out there. So tonight, obviously, really warm welcome to everyone coming along. I know it's kind of summer holiday season, so there's a few people away, and it's really great to see everyone here. Lots of familiar faces, and we'll be getting into the meat of the main event shortly, which obviously is Network Marketing Special, and I've invited incredible speakers tonight, and I think you're going to find it very insightful. I myself have been involved in network marketing, albeit probably 10 years ago now. It was actually the first business that I set up myself, and I went travelling back in 2003, and I was in Australia. I met a British woman just towards the end of my trip who was in network marketing, and she said, when you get back to the UK, you know, if you're kind of looking for opportunities, I'm not quite sure, you know, because I wasn't sure exactly what I was going to do when I got back. So yeah, I went and met her, and she introduced me, and we sat and had a couple of meetings, and she explained the whole network marketing model to me, the products, which actually were magnetic wristbands, products for people to help with aches and pains, health issues, also magnetic collars for animals, which had an amazing effect. Old animals that are kind of like limping along, stick a collar on them and they'll start jumping up, you know, like, it was incredible. And, you know, I bought a wristband or a bracelet for my mum, and she didn't start jumping up on the furniture, but, you know, it really helped with her arthritis in her knees. And I was sold, you know, I thought this is great. I saw the proof in the pudding that these products worked. And you know, I did network marketing for the next 3 years. I didn't stick with the business. I actually found after 3 years that I wasn't building the team in the way that, you know, in my opinion, really, in order to make real residual income, there's two parts of network marketing. We'll obviously get onto this with our speakers tonight, but you know, you've got to build a team and you've got to be passionate about the products, and the two work together very well. So you know, I wasn't building the team in the way I needed to. I also then got offered a job back in the music industry, and the wild times started coming back, and that was what happened. And as you know, I'll just give you a recap of what we're doing here with Escape the Rat Race. So I actually was in the music industry from 2006 to 2014, so I had a good run. I'd actually been in the music industry before that as well, so it was all I'd ever known. Deep inside, I'd always had this passion to kind of achieve some really amazing things, and it was also when I got back from Australia that I really got into personal development, because my friend stuck a Jim Rohn CD in the car, and there was no turning back really from that moment. And Jim is still to this day my favourite kind of personal development of business philosopher, as he used to be known as. And you know, I think everyone here probably would agree that getting the mindset is one of the most important things. So listening to kind of Tony Robbins and Jim Rohn and many others out there, it really does help. But you also need to take action upon that. Most people, well, maybe that's critical, but a lot of people listen, and the years go by, and they keep listening, and they're still in the same position because they're not actually doing anything, they're not acting upon that information. So just for the very fact that everyone has come here tonight and has been coming to all of the meetups, it shows that, you know, you guys are wired differently, and that you're actually taking some action and you're really serious about achieving your goals, and I think everyone would agree with that. I mean, hands up, obviously we have more than usual maybe tonight, people who've actually escaped the rat race and achieved financial freedom, but hands up who wants to escape the rat race? Yeah, so a fair number, and you know, I think there's many more thousands of people out there who feel the same. So really, I set the group up actually in November. I knew that I was giving up my job. I had about a month left, and then really wasn't quite sure what was going to happen after that. Come January the 1st, I was starting a property business. It was completely new. I'd been educating and learning about property, and that was kind of what I was going to do. But I understood as well that you need to build a network, and so I just set the group up on Meetup, and that was, as I say, in November. The first meetup in January, we had 45 people turn up, and we've now got just under 500 members. So, you know, it's grown, and I haven't even really promoted that. So it's definitely connecting with people. So I'm kind of making it my mission now, because I'm really passionate about helping everyone that comes along and joins the group and the community, because we've got a lot of really good friendships being born out of the community now. And you know, the vibe is great at these events, and even our guest speakers always say to me, wow, you've got something really special here. So I'm really putting a lot of time and energy into growing this group. So, you know, if you know anyone who wants to escape the rat race, you know, has kind of got some goals in their heads and they're not quite sure how they're going to get there, how they're going to reach those, then please do, you know, spread the word and invite them along to a future event. So I'm not going to talk too long tonight. As I said, this is the 7th meetup, so just over the last 6 months we've had various speakers. We've covered different strategies within property, how you can start investing in property, strategies such as rent to rent and deal sourcing. Last month we had Vicky Boucher, who taught people how to set up a property business in the correct manner. And also we had my trading mentor, Zahir Anwari, last month. I've been trading probably since 2007. I wasn't really having much success, and anyone who's looked into Forex and stocks probably knows that it's you know, it's a bit of a beast, dare I say, out there. You just type in Forex and there's millions of strategies and people saying, yeah, you can make all this money in like 2 days, and you just don't know where to start. And I've tried some of those and I never had success, and I just kind of really was still interested in Forex, and luckily last year I actually found Zahir, bumped into each other, had a conversation. He showed me how he trades. It made perfect sense, and he taught me how to trade, and you know, I'm a profitable trader now, and anyone who's interested in trading and wants to find out more, I will always say have a chat with Zahir, because the guy is, you know, so amazing. He just explains in a very simple term how you look at charts, what you need to look for. It's not day trading, you're not on the computer all the time. We just check it kind of 15 minutes a day, and we look for long-term trends in the markets. And you know, when we get into trends, we're in them for weeks or months. We're not in for days, and we take big profits out of those. So anyway, I'm just recapping on some of the subjects we've talked about in previous meetups, because there's lots of ways to make money out there. And there's lots of money out there. Sometimes it doesn't feel like it's easy to get your share of that, but you know, I'm passionate, as I say, about testing out all of these different strategies and inviting people in to come and talk to our members really, and show you how they've done it and how they've been successful, because that's the best way, you know, and it proves that it's real, that it can be done. So tonight, network marketing is going to be a really interesting subject, because you know, it's a fantastic model, and it really can work when you have a full-time job. So I'm just going to skip through some slides quickly, just to let you know what's coming up for the rest of the year. So you may have seen my post on Facebook. We've got a secret Facebook group. Again, if no one's a member of that and would like to be, we've got 200 members in there, and every day, you know, there's really useful information, links, conversations happening in there. So yeah, I posted basically, I spent the whole weekend with Paul. So Paul O'Mahony, an Irish gentleman who literally only got into online marketing and online business in 2009. And he has made several £1 million through his business, not through coaching, although he does teach people now how they can set their own business up, but he generally just through the business, just driving traffic to websites, finding problems out there that exist, and he's got really simple ways of finding those, just using Twitter, Facebook, just typing in problems basically, and there's thousands of people saying, you know, how do I do this, or I can't do that, or where do I find this? Just find the problem, find a solution, and drive the traffic to a solution. And I mean, I'm putting it in a simple way, but Paul will explain that, and I was really impressed with him this weekend. I learned a ton of stuff that I can put into practice in helping to market the Escape the Rat Race group. So I invited Paul to come along next month, and he kindly agreed to do so. So that would be very exciting. Anyone who's looking to get into an online business, I know we've talked about Amazon business, which is a fantastic opportunity. My girlfriend's been doing that for, you know, the best part of kind of 10 months now, making a really good success of that. Paul's got a different approach to online business, which very low cost, you know, entry. Again, maybe an hour a day is required, and you can start making money almost instantly. So anyway, if you're interested in that, come along next month. Ta-da, the summer sizzler. So, enough like, you know, networking and brainstorming, let's go out and have some drinks, basically. As I say, we've built up a great friendship amongst many of our members, and a couple of little social things we have done before have been great, because everyone can really unwind, get to know exactly, you know, what everyone's up to. You can create those real good partnerships with people. And because we've all got the same mindset, we all want to achieve something great. So it's a great time to hang out. So I've chosen the other Bili outdoor bar, which is right underneath London Eye. It's a good outdoor space, it's a nice setting, and there's food there. So that's going to take place on Saturday the 15th of August, and we'll start at 3 p.m. So I'll obviously share that out to everyone, but please take a note of that. And we have, well, this is pretty exciting actually. So Dan Waldschmidt is an American guy who, as I say there, is a business strategist, and he deals with billion-dollar companies and solves their problems. And I've been chatting to him on Skype. I was chatting to him yesterday, and he just loves what we've got going on here. He really thinks it's cool. So he's going to jump on a webinar, and we're going to talk about mindset really, because that's what he does with these massive companies. He doesn't go in and tell them how to do their job, but he gets the mindset right and little tweaks and stuff, which makes a big change. And the Wall Street Journal said that his blog is one of the top 7 sales blogs on the internet. And he's not really selling anything. He literally has got nothing to sell us. He just likes what we're doing, and he wants people who are committed to seeing this process through to the end to jump on that webinar. Myself and Dan are going to have a conversation, and we're just going to put it out to people and see what problems everyone's got, whether it's lack of time, lack of money, lack of ideas. The date for that is unconfirmed, although it probably will be the 19th of August. And that'll be a webinar, so that means you just log into your computer and, you know, from the comfort of wherever you are, you can just be involved in that conversation. So in September, we have Vanish Patel. So we're back on the property tip here. So Vanish has basically started, he left his job in 2001, and quite good friends with Vanish now, and he just kind of has really been helping me with the first 6 months of the transition from moving from being an employee to being an entrepreneur, starting up business, and he's been through that, and he's really been helping me. And what he does now is work with people who are interested in getting into property, but he takes a different approach. He's very much about the joint ventures, the relationships, because it's relatively easy to go out and find a good property deal, you know, or you can pay a property sourcer, pay me if you want, I do property sourcing. You can find a deal, but it's finding the money. That's the other half. And any property investor will say to you that, you know, no matter how much money they have, at some point they'll run out. They always do, because there's always deals to buy. And, you know, investors, once they get into it, they just want to buy, but the money's going to run out. So Vanish has a strategy really that he's just developed himself over the last 10 years or so. And I've been doing some training with Vanish, which is why, again, I've invited him to come and speak, because I like to invite people who I've had a personal relationship with, that I can see the benefit, that I feel that they've got something to offer to everyone else. So, in fact, Adam, Adam could testify.
Very knowledgeable guy.
Yeah, Vanish is good. Again, he's not going to be here to sell anything. He's just going to come and give you some great advice. Even if you're not into property, the advice he'll give you will still be really valuable. Okay, October. I'll skip through this because it's 8 o'clock now, and I want to kick on with the main event. But Raj Dhanota. Raj was actually on The Apprentice Series 1, and I think he got to like the final 4 or so. But he's basically an angel investor, so he looks for ideas, he looks for individuals and startups that he feels are worth backing, and he's going to come and talk to us really about what he does, what he looks for, how he can help people, and again, inspire you all. You know, as I said at our last meetup last month, you have to start thinking like an entrepreneur. You have to get into this mindset. Set up a company name. It costs £15 to set a company up with Company's House. Get a domain. You know, get a nice looking email address that isn't Gmail or Hotmail. Look professional, and just think in your head. You know, yeah, I'm a business owner. I'm a company owner. You can do that for £15 or 20 quid basically. But you've got to get into the idea of being an entrepreneur, and that will help you even more. That will give you that extra boost, you know. There's a great quote from Jim Rohn, those who are into Jim. One of my favourite quotes of his, you know, you can work hard on your job and make a living, or work hard on yourself and make a fortune. So work hard on yourself, start getting into the entrepreneurial mindset. And Julianne as well will be speaking at the same event. Now, Julianne set up a company called Creative Nature Superfoods, and I think she's in her early 20s, but she's won all these entrepreneur awards in the last couple of years, and she's absolutely flying at the moment. She lives in Kingston upon Thames, which is kind of where I'm from, so we have a chat, and I say come along and speak, and she's happy to do that. And she mentors for like Virgin Startup as well, so she'll have a lot of great information to share with everyone. So October 7th, that's also my birthday, so even more reasons to come along and celebrate. We'll go to the pub afterwards, and that's it. That's it. Okay, so use this before. Right, let's turn now. Oh, actually, also. Okay. All right. So let's move on to our main event. Cool. So, hands up just before we get going. Who's involved in network marketing here? Right. Okay, so like 10 to 15 people here. Great. Who, honestly, doesn't know anything about network marketing? 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah. Cool. 6 or so people. Okay, great. So, this will be a good time to introduce our guest speakers. And, well, let me invite you all up, please, and take a seat. And then I'll ask you all to introduce yourselves and get the show on the road.
Lucky man.
Okay, so I should just say that we have one more speaker who's running a little late. They did say that they probably wouldn't be here till at least 8 o'clock, which is David DaCosta from Paycation. So David will be arriving later, so he'll probably squeeze himself in there.
Absolutely, yeah.
Okay. All right, good stuff. So firstly, thank you. I really appreciate that you've all taken the time out tonight to come and be here, and I really hope that everyone learns a hell of a lot here. I thought it was an interesting slant to actually have distributors from different companies, because I've certainly not seen that too often myself, and every company has a different setup and different structure, so it'll be good to hear how the different how you all compare and share similarities as well in the way that the businesses are set up. So let's kick things off anyway. We'll start with you, Nina. If you'd just like to just introduce your name and company that you work for, and we'll kind of walk around so everyone knows who.
My name's Nina Loisel, initially from New Zealand, living up in London now as well. I partnered with a company called New Skin Enterprises 23 years ago, and it's been an enormous success for me. Basically, it's changed our future really for our family.
Excellent. Thank you, Nina.
Good evening, everyone. So I'm May-Stubbins, and I'm an independent consultant and an executive regional vice president with Arbonne International. And I found out about it about 6 years ago, and it has completely changed my life.
Hi everybody, my name is Bili. I'm a corporate lawyer by profession, and I went into network marketing 2 years ago. I'm with a company called Forever Living, and it has a very strong global presence, 160 countries, and that's one of the reasons why I joined. One of the top UK leaders, and I'm really very passionate about the products and the business as well.
Hi, my name is Jelle Ijsbrandy. I work for a company called Beyuna. It sells food supplements, high quality, natural, organic. It's been going for a year. I've been doing it for a year as well, and it's been amazing so far. It's changing my life. So really cool.
Okay, I'm Barbara Anderson. I'm an executive vice president for Jelle Star Limited. We actually teach families how to be more effective with their finances, and I think most people have never seen a network marketing business in financial services, which makes us quite unique in what we do. Because, I need to speak up. Okay, I will speak up, okay. But yes, I've been doing the same thing for the last 11 years. I'm a qualified accountant. I was working 2 jobs before I started this business. full-time, part-time, college 2 evenings a week, single mother with a 3-year-old. It's been my 11th year in business. My daughter is going to be 14, as you can tell, she was 3 at the time. And so for me it's been an amazing journey. My team currently have over 1,000 people, and Jelle Starter Company has been running for the last 8 years. We're fully regulated by the Financial Conduct Authority, the Office of Fair Trading, and Ministry of Justice.
Thank you. Just checking, can everyone hear all the speakers okay?
No, really.
Okay, so we can. Yes, should be one. Yeah, you've all got some water underneath the chairs. Okay, so that's great. So we found out a little bit about who you are and the companies that you work for. So let's just go back, and I'd just like to find out really kind of where you were all at before you were introduced to network marketing. I know some of you have just touched on it a little bit there, but I want to go back before you even knew what network marketing is. So the first time someone said to you, look, we've got this opportunity, and what your thoughts were at the time, whether you were skeptical, whether you understood the opportunity, whether you nearly didn't even go for it, and shock horror if that had been the case. But maybe Nina, you could just tell us.
I'm in that spot, aren't
Well, I won't always start with you.
It's okay. I look back now. I was living in New Zealand on a farm with a lot of children, very expensive children, a lot of horses. I'm a farmer's wife. That was my claim to fame. Nothing died, because you lose money if they die. And I had started a business from my home to keep my children. My children were actually, 2 of my kids were looking at riding at competitive level up in the UK. They were heading for Olympics. You need a lot of money for that. So I'd started a business I ran from my home, which actually was very successful. I'd never been in business before, but it was from home. I'm not going to go into that. And what I discovered was that it was all about me, and I was like a rat on a wheel really, because I couldn't stop. It made so much money, but I didn't want to do it after a few years. So that was challenging for me. I came across New Skin. One of my other things that were in my life was that I had very bad skin cancer. I had been New Zealand, terrible sun, and if you're disobedient and don't wear a sun hat and coat yourself with oil, you're going to get pretty burnt, which I did beautifully, and ended up looking like a dog's dinner really in my early 40s. And I had tried every product, not every product, but I tried a lot of products to try and make my skin feel more comfortable, because I'd had so many skin cancers burnt off. It was just disgusting. You wouldn't have wanted to look at me, right? I felt sorry for the people. So the reality was that I had been approached while I was doing this other business by numerous market companies in New Zealand, network marketing business coming to New Zealand. They use New Zealand as a testing ground actually. And I think if you are happy and friendly and you tend to sort of chat to people, they think, that's great, well not good, and that's them, thank you very much. And I had been to quite a few meetings, and I'd sort of, looked at it all and thought, there's just nothing here that I don't like. I don't feel good about this. I would need to have a pretty amazing product before I would actually want to be associated. So anyway, I didn't, until I discovered on my hairdresser's counter one day some products. It's a much longer story to this, and I said, I want to buy this stuff. And she went on with that dreadful voice, network marketing, I'm going to be amazing, so rich, and oh God. And I'm going, you know what, just sell me some and let me try it. I'd actually seen a video on something, whatever. So, and I know we haven't got much time, so that's what I did. And within about 2 weeks of using these products, things started to change quite dramatically. And I'm really, really skeptical, and I wanted to know why. Is this legal? God, what is this stuff, And so I found out about it. And I had actually started my networking business before I had even understood the compensation plan and the power of what this type of business can offer, because so many people had wanted to get the product already. I'd be going, God, what have you done? So, well, I think it's one of those things, Like, and they go, well, we don't care what it is, Nina, just find out how you get it. So that was my very inauspicious start to what is now a global business that's in, we're in 54 markets. I think my business is in probably about, 38 of them now, maybe 40 now, which has all just jumped around the globe because we've got something so good that people want to share. And just to finish, I think that's genius. If you're someone who loves helping people and you've been helping people for free, which we all do, don't we? I mean, if we're nice, we help. No one ever pays you. And to find something that I would be paid as much money as I deserve for sharing information with people and helping people get what they want, that's genius.
Fantastic, excellent. So let's jump to you, Flo. And the first time that someone said to you, yeah, you know, there's this product or there's this business, when was that?
That was December 2012, just towards just before Christmas. So I really wasn't interested.
And for what reason?
I think because I come from a legal background and all I knew were conventional styles of businesses. So anything that just didn't fit in the box for me, I didn't want to touch with a barge pole. And I'd heard about network marketing, but in passing, so I never really looked at it. But when I was introduced to Forever, obviously I had to look at network marketing as a model, and I thought, oh, okay, so it's a supply chain logistics thing. All you remove is the middleman, and that for me was it, because I needed to understand. I'm a very black and white person. I've got to understand things as they are. So in order for me to get into network marketing, I needed to know that it was legit, which I knew it was. I mean, Forever, for instance, is a 37-year-old company. There's no way it would have been accredited and had the accolades had it. And I speak that for most network marketing companies. They're very solid companies. And so, but I needed to look at the model. And the moment I understood that it was just a supply chain logistics company where you took the product straight from the manufacturer into the hands of the consumer, my mind was at rest.
Yeah, excellent. And you agreed to sign up, I guess, and that was that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay,
yes.
great. Well, we'll go into what happened. Obviously, you know, following that. Barbara, what about yourself?
Okay, you know, most people look at people when they think of going into business and they think of how busy someone is. And I was speaking to someone earlier and I said to them, there are two things that will stop people succeeding in network marketing. It's either going to be lack of time or lack of passion. Those are two things that will stop you. And I mean, and I could teach somebody how to find time, but I can't teach someone passion. And for me, when my friend rang me up on a Friday, I was told on a Friday to go to a meeting. I wasn't given any reason why. I wasn't told it was about. I just had to go to this thing, which I didn't even want to go to. And I went along the Saturday morning, all the way to Moorgate from Tottenham to be there at 9 o'clock on a Saturday morning. Went there, saw the business, said to the guy, look, I mean, how much does it cost me and how do I get to your position? That was it. Sign my application then and there. I mean, and so kind of differently to Flo. I am the jumping 2 feet and then I'm either going to sink or I'm going to swim, but I'm going to do something. I don't even think about it because I realize if I overanalyze things, I won't do anything. And so I didn't think about it. I just went in and that was it. But I did pay, brought my check, and then I got to services and I phoned up. I said, give me back my money. I'm sorry, I changed my mind. Reality had set in with the train journey. Reality set in. I just given this man my check and I don't even know him. And yes, I mean, so you know, as I mentioned before, I was working really, really hard, and the thing for me, I said to myself at the time, if nothing else comes out of it, I learn how money works. Nobody gives us financial education. You can't go to university and get financial education. And if that was all I was going to get from my joining fee, then I'd be happy. And so I went along, and in fact, the lady who introduced me to the business, I got promoted and left her the first month, and she hasn't spoken to me since.
Yeah,
So,
no, that's a really good point, the education,
Yes.
and that's something we'll get on to later. Absolutely.
Yes.
Sarah, would you like to explain?
So 6 years ago, I was actually a professional dancer, so I literally kicked my legs around for a living. Didn't have really an entrepreneurial bone in my body, could count to 8 and back to 1, because that's what the dancers do. And I'd been quite fortunate to have a really good career. I was working long and hard though, so I was working 6 days a week. I was often abroad, travelling the country, here, there and everywhere, living out suitcases. And as much as I loved my career, I had no time. And I still was struggling for money. And I really thought about the future as well and realised that no one was going to employ a 90-year-old granny to try and kick her legs around. So I realised that I needed something to build alongside, but I had no idea to even begin with. I was like, I don't know where to look. I was looking online at lots of different things, and one of my friends actually rang me and she just said, you seriously need to take a look at the business that I'm doing. And I was like, absolutely, I'm open-minded to looking because I'm looking for something right now. And I just didn't know what it was. And when she sat down, she just shared a presentation with me about how the model worked, how the business concept worked, and she gave me products to try. And I immediately fell in love with the products. They were everything that I ethically believed in because they're botanically based skincare, cosmetics and nutrition products. So for me, that was a massive tick, firstly, and I think, like everyone said here, it has to be something that you're passionate about and you believe in. And for me, that was a big plus point. But when I looked at the business concept as well, it just made logical sense, and it answered everything that I was looking for, but it just came in a slightly different way than I'd expected it to. And I think the things that stood out more than anything to me were the fact that it can produce that recurring income. So I'd always traded my time for money. If I didn't work, I didn't earn. As a self-employed performer, I didn't get holidays, I didn't get sick pay, I didn't get Christmas, I didn't get anything like that. So to have something where I could produce a recurring income, which meant I could potentially go on holiday and money still be working for me, made a lot of sense to me. I loved the fact I could build it around my career as well. So I actually was still working 6 days a week as a performer in musicals, and was building my business alongside that. And after about 18 months, I was actually able to retire from my performing career when I was ready to. And it kind of gave me new passions that I didn't realise I had. So I then went on to train in nutrition, in makeup, in beauty. So I've got all these different things. I just love to learn, basically. But that all came from this one kind of catalyst. And then the third key point was that every single part of it is learnable. So 6 years ago, I didn't have the knowledge of skincare, of products, of nutrition, of business, but I've learned all those skills by steadily just plugging in over time and consistently building my business. And the best part for me now is really helping other people do the same thing. Nothing pleases me more than being able to give what is, I consider a winning lottery ticket to other people, to say you don't have to be in the situation you're in right now. There's a way out, you just need to look at it. So I feel that we are, as network marketers, just messengers, showing people that there are different ways, and they just need to be open to looking at them. And if it's for them, great. If it's not, that's absolutely fine.
Excellent. Right. And Jelle, finally, I know music is a passion of yours.
I've been in music pretty much all my life, since I was 14 or something, playing in bands and composing music and sound engineering, and still I do all these things with loads of passion. And actually network marketing has always been around with me as well. My dad was in network marketing. A good friend of him who was actually the owner of Beyuna and creates the products as well. So I've been around it. I never really focused on it because I didn't really needed it until my girlfriend got pregnant, and I was like, what am I gonna do? Because music is alright. It pays alright for me to live with my girlfriend, but to support a little child, I need to do something extra. So I was like, what am I going to do? So basically, Beyuna came along, and I was like, well, let's have a talk, because Paul Gebbink, who does all the products, I know him pretty well, so sat down and he was like, well, products and that. He's got 35 years of experience with nutrition, and he's been a nutritionist of Irish football team, a rugby team, Ajax, Dutch company. And he was just like, why don't you do this? And I was like, me? I'm in music, probably the same thing you had when you started network marketing. He's like, well, I've got nothing with it. But then I started using the products, and the products were so amazing, because obviously with my routine of work, I don't really eat good. So I got so much more energy and stuff, and I was like, oh man, I've got an extra day almost. So that for me was great, and the benefits of not having to start your own company, or because I'm never going to be in a 9-to-5 job. That's just not for me. I'm not built for that. I once had a job in a music shop. That was it. That's the only 9-to-5 job I've ever had. So I was like, well, I'm gonna have to start my own business. This is the cheapest way to do it, because obviously your overheads are really small. You obviously have to pay membership or whatever you got to do to start in a network marketing company, and then you just start sharing it. We work with drop shipping. I don't know if you guys do, but it's great.
Yeah. Fantastic. So you just mentioned there, which an interesting point is the cost of entry, really. So network marketing is a business that you don't need thousands of pounds to start, and obviously most of our members have full-time jobs. So it really is a good opportunity to learn how to run a business, how to structure a business, how to become better at sales, and sales and marketing in life is just a really important skills. Everyone kind of has to be able to sell something at some point. So maybe the cost of entry amongst all of you, would we say £500, less, more? Less, pretty much. And what exactly are the startup costs? Obviously, there's probably a cost to becoming a distributor and to use the products initially. So you want to be trying so that you know when you're speaking to other people, you can personally recommend the results that you've had. Would that be correct? Has anyone got anything to add?
Yeah, the way I've kind of run my business, I obviously became a consultant, and then I decided that I wanted to build a business with complete integrity, so I wanted to use the products. So whenever people say to me, what lipstick are you wearing? And whether it's on my teeth or not, then I can say it's Arbonne, here's my card. And I wouldn't want to use anything else either. But also, what I view it as is a bit like a coffee shop. So I have products that I can give people so they can try them for themselves, because I want them to see how the products work for them. I don't want anyone to buy anything that's not going to work for them, so I want to work with them to get the best for their skin. So I viewed it a bit like a coffee shop. If I had a coffee shop where I only sold black Americanos, there's only going to be a certain amount of people that I can physically talk to. Whereas if I have lattes and frappuccinos and wappuccinos and all these different things, there's many more people that are going to want my services. So by having different products, I can cater what I'm giving to people for them to try to suit them.
Yeah, and
I think, in terms of a thing for me, as I said, the startup cost is there. I think what made us slightly different when I saw it was the fact that there wasn't any product literally for me to buy and try, if that made sense. So I could run the business. There was no monthly membership fee. There was nothing. Naturally you start using your own services along the way, because it is financial services. They're products and services that you're going to use anyway, but there wasn't any real monthly fees apart from my startup fee, which I paid. There was nothing else.
Yeah. It's interesting because obviously Barbara, Genestar is financial services, and the rest of you are more in the health and well-being. And it does tend to be that network marketing often focuses on those kind of products. Why do you think that is?
A lot of it is to do with health and wellness and network marketing coming together. Paul Zane Pilzer, I don't know if anyone's heard of him. He's an economist, and he predicted that the next wave of millionaires will come from the network marketing industry and the health and wellness industry joining together. For me, that was a big
next $1 trillion industry.
Yeah.
I mean, in our company, in Newskin, there is no mandatory charge at all. People can just, as long as they get connected, sponsored, so to speak, they can purchase whatever they want. If they choose to, it depends what that person wants. I mean, I really teach a business system. You've got to have great products, because you can flog it off one time, but no one's ever going to come back if it's not good. So you've got to have something that people really love, and I think that's very important for me as well. You've got to be able to use something and love it and be passionate about it. But what I saw was a way to enable people to have an opportunity to really create some leverage in their life in a business through a business system. And half of our company are men. They don't come in to, wake off some skincare and so on. They certainly will use the products, because why wouldn't you buy from your own company at wholesale as opposed to someone else's at retail? But it's really about the business that I coach and mentor people how to build that. And the products are a very important, integral part of that.
Absolutely.
But there is no startup cost. If somebody really wanted to get going, and from a business perspective, they couldn't spend more than £1,000. And that would all be in product that they would either need in order to use for themselves, or because they maybe want to have something to sell as well. And there's different options for people. But can't spend more than 1,000. I actually wish it was about 100,000, because then people would take it seriously.
Exactly.
£1,000, what do you got to lose?
Because you see a lot of people that join in and just within a month they're gone, for instance, because it's so cheap to start.
Why is that? Because
they don't take it seriously. They don't see it as a real business. They really think they can just do this on the side for like 10 minutes a day, or maybe less even, it's like...
Yeah, people often say it's a get rich quick.
It's not a get rich quick thing.
I think as well that when people have options, and a lot of people stick their toes in, and so if it doesn't feel nice on your toe, they don't bother trying it any further. And when you have a job that's going to pay your bills and everything at the end of the month, why should you even bother? You could go home and watch dead enders, as my CEO always say. You don't need to go out and see a client, because you can just watch them.
I think it often challenges people as well, because in order to grow in network marketing, or in anything actually, you have to develop yourself as a person, and sometimes that can be scary to face. You have to look at yourself in the mirror and think, okay, what is it about me that needs to change? And some people can't. They'd rather just stay where they're at.
It's all about getting out of your comfort zone and just doing it.
And I think you're saying about passion. for me, when I'm working with people, it's about their why. If they don't have a reason, a real reason to change something. And I was saying to Vinny before that you wouldn't have driven down our drive of our farm and thought she's broke, let's knock her up for network marketing. We had a pretty nice looking situation and a lovely life actually, but they didn't know that I was unhappy inside and that I was looking for more. So it's just, that's how the way it goes. You don't know, you don't all have a dot on your forehead saying pick me. I'm open for change, I'm looking for something else.
But I also find that people like to live in the now, in the present, my bills, my life, the present. Not a lot of people like to think ahead and think, well, maybe this is for the future. Network marketing works very differently. Obviously, people tend to earn more money as they get older and as they spend more time in the business. A lot of people don't have that patience. They don't even want to have the foresight to actually look beyond. And also, I also think, speaking from experience, is that life gets in the way. And sometimes people can't deal with life getting in the way, can't balance, and just think, you know what am I going to drop? It's this one. And then they'll drop their business, which is their destiny, which is their future, which has such which can have such a life-changing impact on them. They drop it. Sad, but it's true.
Yeah, absolutely. So we touched on there about having the right mindset, and I know from my experience when I was a distributor for BioFlow and EcoFlow products, that there was regular trainings. It was very much about your upline supporting you. And for anyone who still maybe hasn't quite grasped network marketing, the model, it's when a company creates a product or a service, and instead of going down the traditional route of spending hundreds of thousands of pounds on media, advertising, TV, radio, press, instead of spending all of that money, they build a network of distributors, and they say, look, go use the products and just grow your own network, basically. Invite people who enjoy using the products to refer other people, and tell them that they can refer others, and a little portion of the sales. So instead of spending the money on the advertising, they pass on that money to the distributors, and that's essentially how the model works. I don't know if anyone wants to expand on that a little bit more, but in a nutshell, that's kind of the network marketing model. So I want to just get this out of the water now. Pyramids. Okay, so I know again from experience that as a network marketer, because you are passionate, you have to be passionate about a business, and you have to talk to people, because otherwise you're not going to have a business. One thing you must do as a network marketer is tell people what you do, and you will be hit with many people who will respond with the dreaded, oh, it's a pyramid scheme, it's pyramid selling, and then you respond, well, what do you mean? Do you actually know what pyramid? What are you talking about? Because I'm sure you guys will agree that the traditional corporation is a pyramid. So I'd like to know how you handle it when you're confronted with someone saying that. And yes, Sarah, maybe you can.
I do just highlight with them the structure that they're currently working in a lot of the time. I firstly say, what makes you think it's a pyramid? Because I want to know. I want to know what their opinion is and why they've come to that conclusion firstly. And actually, a lot of the time, people don't even know what it means. They've just heard this word somewhere bantered around, and they go, oh. And then I just say to them, okay, well, a pyramid scheme is actually an illegal thing, and they get shut down within 3 years. The company I work with is 35 years old. It's part of the Direct Selling Association. And I just want to show you kind of the difference between where you may be working right now and what network marketing is. So if you think about where you work right now, in a corporate structure, there's a CEO at the top of the company. And no matter how hard you work, you're never going to be that CEO, because that's the way the company is built. It's a very rigid structure. People may promote a little way, but they're not going to get to the top. So what does that look like? There's not much room for movement. Now in network marketing, every single person starts at exactly the same place as an independent consultant. Every single person has exactly the same opportunity to be at the top level of the company. And in fact, I could introduce you to this business, and if you work harder than me, this is completely effort-based. You will bypass me and earn more money than me. How fair is that?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think in terms of the actual chart, I mean, I do that a lot with people. I think I've got a scary face now that people just disappear. They don't even say, they just hide from me. But but the thing about it is, I always ask them the same thing. I always go like, so do you like pyramids? And then they go like, no. Have you been in a pyramid? No. So where are you getting your facts from? I mean, because, you know, if you're going to make a decision, I would take it you're going to base it on facts. Am I correct? Because you don't seem like the kind of person who would make a decision any other way. And then I go like, okay, and then that gives, come back to what we were saying, is drawing that structure and kind of showing them and saying to them, okay, so where are you, anywhere in the world you are, even the country is a pyramid. You know, you got one prime minister, we were fortunate previously to have a couple, but normally it's just one running the whole place, and you just have to fall in line. So whatever you are doing, it is a pyramid, if that is what you're looking at. But naturally we know that's not what they're doing. But we give them a chance to explain what's their understanding and then break it down for them. What is a pyramid? Because somebody will always work for somebody. You can choose whether or not you're the employer or the employee. That's it. Yeah.
No, I think it's summed it up. The people who say that, they literally just don't understand. You know, it's just something they've heard, and it's frustrating. And for those who've been, you know, running your business a bit longer, do we find that this is kind of it's not as common anymore?
Yes.
Which is good
Definitely
to hear.
changing.
Yeah.
I don't, the young ones especially, they think that networks are great. Networking is the way to go.
Yes.
And they're also looking at their parents' lives and going, you know what, they've worked really hard, mum and dad, and they've saved and slogged away, and they're hoping to maybe be able to go on a trip when they retire at 65, if they're lucky and if they're well enough and strong enough to be able to do that. But you know, these young ones are looking at the future and going, it's not so pretty. You know, what do? I end up either dead or dead broke age 65. You know, clearly it doesn't work. What we're taught to do, go to school, get good grades, you know, go and get a job. I don't want a job. I would loathe a job. You know, I want to be able to be free, but that means getting into your own business. And mostly getting into your own business, sadly, means it doesn't work, you know, because we don't have all the skills that are necessary. And we've touched on this before, the fact that you actually are partnering with a company that does all of those things that you can't do. There's no way that I could develop the products that 100 PhD scientists who work together in our company develop and scientifically validate. There's no way I could do that. You know, and I don't have to do any of the book work or the accounts or receipts. There's no accounts receivable, there's nothing. Everyone works direct to the company and gets paid what they are worth and what they generate in business. So it's so fair, isn't it?
Absolutely.
The person that you can connect umpteen levels below has got exactly the same opportunities as you. It's
very
the
transparent.
most,
Really.
and it's
Exactly.
fair. It's absolutely fair. I mean, we're a publicly traded company on the New York Stock Exchange. So we're under NUS, if you want to look us up. It's very transparent and it's absolutely legal, as everyone said.
Sure. And network marketing, you know, it is huge in America. I don't know if I'm correct in saying it kind of started probably in America, spread over. Are you seeing more and more network marketing companies, you know, employing the network marketing structure popping up? Is it becoming really? And that's only a good thing.
Yeah, absolutely. But even if you look at traditional businesses, they are adopting that recommendation model. If you go to a hairdresser's, recommend a friend and get 10% off. That's network marketing.
Yes.
They're all adopting it into their businesses.
Yeah.
I think one of the things is, you know, we're talking about might be regulation and all the things that go into to us as a company here sitting down right now. Some of the challenges that are being faced out there right now are all these companies who are starting with these little things, and then suddenly they take their whole team and they move on to something else, and you can't hear of them anymore. And I think that is the challenge that is affecting us, and that is why anybody who wants to consider network marketing need to do your due diligence. And if any company that you want to do anything with, make sure you've checked them, they're vetted, you've got a complaint procedure in place, you have somewhere bigger than them that you can go and talk to about them. Because that is the thing, there are just too many other companies starting all these little things, and next week they're gone and they've changed their names, and the guy's now running a new business with his entire team, and that's just one of the problems that legitimate network marketing businesses are facing out there right now.
Yeah, the fly-by-night
Exactly.
type of businesses that don't have stability. Now you see me, now you don't.
They don't, exactly.
Yeah.
And is there an overall kind of network marketing stamp of approval? Is there an authority out there that network marketing companies have to get
I think
verified by?
you just said about
Direct selling.
Direct selling association is one.
Yeah, that is something we're not part of, because I mean, I think our business model,
services.
yeah, we do services.
You do
so we're
services,
different,
we do products, so
products,
you've got to belong to the DSA.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well,
So
if
you
you
would
don't,
advise anyone if they're looking at network marketing, if it's not, well, you know, in certain cases, then DSA is is
Yeah, if it
something
involves
you
products,
need.
then
Yes.
absolutely.
Okay, interesting.
Really important.
Just quickly open it up to the audience. Has anyone got any questions specifically? We have got more to come, but a few questions as we go. Trill.
This multi-level marketing, is it just a different name?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what is
So,
should
Mark,
one be looking
do
for?
you mind speaking up a little bit, Trill?
Yeah, what should one be looking for when you are picking a company? Because I've been reading and I've actually done a lot of printing before I came here. There are about 25 top MLM companies and there are 100. 90% of those companies are from the US, a few from Germany, a few from elsewhere. You know, how exactly you go by choosing which company should you be working for? Because I was struck by one Australian company about 15 years ago, and I lost about £5,000 those days.
Okay, so just in case anyone didn't hear, Trill was asking, first of all, is multi-level marketing the same as network marketing? The answer is yes, it is, often called referral marketing as well. And then Trill was saying, how do you go about actually doing your research? You know, how would you suggest you go about that?
Well, I think it's very clear for me anyway that first of all you've got to be in front of a major trend, have a huge expanding market. You know, clearly that's something that's very important, not just a fad, not something that's here today, gone tomorrow, but something that, well, now what's the biggest trend out there is an aging population. What do they care about? How they look, how they feel, making some money, having a life. You know, their retirement's really, supplemental income is a huge one these days. So that's the part of the trend. You've got to have a unique, consumable, visual, emotional product, something that really impacts people. And it's got to be unique. It's got to be patented, globally patented, in my opinion. You've got to have a seamless global compensation plan. You've got to be able to do business in lots of different countries around the world. We're in 54 markets, and there's other companies here that are now in over 100 and so on. And I think what's critical is innovation, because when we're talking about 30 and 60 and 100-year-old companies, you know, they've been around for a long time, and you've got the fly-by-nighters or the new ones coming going, hey, we're new, but they also could be gone tomorrow. And we see it over and over with the people being burned, and that's a shame. So innovation within your company is critical. And the other thing that you've got to have is coaching. You've got to have mentoring and support and coaching. And that's critical. I think when people don't know how to do this, you know what you know how to do very well, but you don't know how to do this. And we all can shorten people's learning curves dramatically. I don't know these people, but I know they're very good at what they do. I've got an antenna on my head. You know, excellent at what they do, and it'll be coaching to a huge extent, because we're not into selling. We don't want to sell you anything. We don't mind, you know, I hope that you all take something from this, but it doesn't matter if it's from me, it could be from wherever, whatever rings your bell, and as long as you find a way to become unimportant to the generating of your income, so you can have the sort of life that I can have these days. You wouldn't want my life, but what life you want. Your choice.
I would also point out something to you about it as well. You've got to be very clear as to what is it you want out of it, because if it's just about the money, then any of our businesses will do. Yeah, it has got to be, what is it that you want, and come back to the same passion again. Are you going to be passionate about it for it to work? There's a really great book by a guy called Dr. Dennis Corvier, and it's called The ABCs of Making Money. And in there, he's got 15 things that when you're looking for a business, it needs to tick as many of those boxes as possible. Now, what you're trying to say is that you have all of this list in front of you. A lot of people go on to these blogs and they read blogs. I don't read blogs. I don't care what a blogger say, because most of the time they have no experience. Yeah, go and read customer reviews. What have the customers said about it? How many complaints can you find about this company? I mean, would you agree with that? What are the complaints? But not what some blogger is writing about the business, who've never even been to one of the meetings. They've never used the product. So I would say find customer reviews about the company and not just what bloggers are writing. And as I said, try and, you know, that book is fantastic. Try and see that the 15 things that you need to look for when you're going to start any business, and see how many of them, any business that you eventually choose, will actually take. It's called The ABCs of Making Money, Dr. Dennis Corvier.
I think Sarah touched on a very, very valid point, and Lynn's also saying that passion. What makes a person have passion? You've got to like what you're doing. You've got to really enjoy meeting people, helping people, I think, must be your passion. Because I think, Lynn, you've said something that's very... Nina said something, sorry about that. Nina said something that is so important that a lot of people overlook. Is there training and support in a company? Because if there isn't training and support, you're going to fail, no matter what happens. And that's why we've got to look at accreditation, training, you've got to see growth, and growth, it's easy, it's due diligence at any particular moment. But if there is a product, will you use the product? Because I can't be passionate about something I don't use, I don't like, I just won't do it. So I think it's all these things, longevity of a company, how long has it been in existence? I think stability is quite important, even though we might say, there could be a company that might be 4 years old that's doing really, really well, and that's true. But the fly-by-nights, in order for us to take them out of the equation, is to really look, what are they? Somebody asked me 2 days ago, they were showing me something, and I just couldn't see it. I said, but where is your product? And they weren't able to articulate. It was all about money. Oh, it's in, we've just come on the market, you've got to come in now, and then we're going to make a lot of money. I said, from where? From where are we going to make a lot of money from? And I went home and I got very heavy-hearted because I thought, these are the people who give network marketing a bad name. Yeah. Because network marketing, yes, we earn a lot of money, but it's never about the money. There has to be a deeper passion within you that really motivates you. Because because it's like any other business, it's a venture. It's like any other business. You need commitment, you need effort, you need to be able to work the business. It's not abracadabra. It isn't. And I'm being very honest, and I bet you would agree with me. We're not here to sensitize people. We're here to be honest, so that when people come into our lines of business, it makes a huge difference in their lives.
Absolutely. Yep.
So we've touched on the word upline. Essentially, that's another word for a mentor.
Yeah.
Someone who's been there and done it and can show you the shortcuts and can help you be successful more quickly. And the education side, I'd just like to find out a little bit more about if somebody's interested in network marketing or someone that you meet and they say, okay, I'm interested to give this a go. What's the process? Take us through kind of what their first month will be, what kind of training, what support they'll get. Is there, websites that they can use? So, Jelle, maybe for
Beyuna?
Beyuna?
No, we've got a whole business manual in place, so we just go through that. And
is that a one-to-one? Would you go through that?
Yeah, one-to-one. I will, if it's my downline, I will go through it,
okay.
And then with the person, and I take them by hand, and just for the first 3 months, actually, we work really close together.
How much would that be face-to-face? I mean, obviously logistics, if it was another country, it would be online, I imagine.
Yeah.
Do you
Skype, anything.
Okay.
We normally meet on Mondays. That's our managers meeting kind of thing.
Okay.
And, I meet people that just signed up, after that as well. So first we got a general kind of thing.
Right.
And then after that I meet with new people. So I spend pretty much about half a day, all day sometimes, just doing that. And
just to kind of summarise it to some degree, in the first month, what's the most important things that a new distributor needs to do to get off to a really good start?
Well, he's got to make his list, I think, warm market people. Warm market is the people that you kind of know.
People
friends.
to speak to?
Yeah, people to speak to.
Okay.
And just so they can explain the business to them and kind of try out a little bit, really.
Okay.
Because obviously they're going to be a bit more forgiving than the people you don't know.
Sure. And certainly from when I was doing network marketing, you would have a presentation, and that used to be a folder. It's probably iPads and online stuff now. But it used to be, that was standard, kind of how it was done. Presentation, so people can really get to know the business. Show them the compensation plan, which if anyone doesn't know, that's basically how you make the money. Is that still how it works? Is that the case for you, Nina?
Yeah, it is. For me, it's a series of conversations with people. I like to chat with someone and find out what it is that they're looking for.
Yeah.
It's people say, well, what do you say to someone when they ask you what you do? I don't know. It depends what they've said to me. Because there's sure to be something that they've said that might ring a bell with me that I may be able to have an answer for, a solution for. So I will show them, I'll have a chat with them, just tell them a little bit about it. I link arms very closely with people. I work very closely with someone who says, show me how to do this, but they don't say that until they've had some conversations with them. And part of that with what I do is actually showing them our biophotonic scanner, which actually measures antioxidant protection in the tissue, so they can see this technology that they can be measured with. And
Sorry, technical team. John, do you mind maybe just
Your battery's low, actually. My battery's running low, never. And demonstrate the product. And then we have another chat. They will look up information. I give them stuff and ways to really tear it apart. And then when they make a decision as to what they want from this, and they don't know anything about it. They go, well, how many hours does it take? What do I do? What am I doing here? So we explain that, and if they're prepared to invest about 10 hours a week on a part-time basis, I will work really closely with them to help them build a business very rapidly.
Okay, that's good to know. So anyone, 10 hours a week maybe is. Would you guys agree? Would you have different amounts that you would encourage people?
In our case, I think because as we're services, we kind of run to appointment. So our people who come and see about the business will either be when I do coffee meetings, I do group meetings, I think which most of us have meetings, like somebody could come to a big meeting and see the business. We have the one-to-ones, as I say, that follow up from there. And naturally, as we grow, it gets harder to actually work with everybody, no matter how nice they are or how great they are. I mean, it gets really hard working with those people. However, as you say, for example, in our case, because it's financial services that I'm doing, it is heavily regulated. So it means I've got to be careful. I'll do 2 appointments. First appointment is just gathering information, and then there's a second appointment where we then go back with a recommendation for the client, and the sale is kind of, that's where you make the money on the second appointment. The first appointment is just gathering of information, which means that it still gives people a chance to not feel pressured into doing anything. They have a choice at that point as to what they do. Now, for us, as we're saying, now I've gotten a lot better at the technical side of things, because I had somebody drove down from Wellingborough to my office at Walthamstow on Saturday to see the business, and it's so funny, filled in everything, put in his card details for his application fee, and didn't give us any bank details to pay him into. And he's a teacher, and been a teacher for 39 years, and was planning to leave in 2 weeks' time, and he said it's just the right time. It was pretty much the right time for him. But as we're saying, so we have, within the first month, as I said, they're live appointments where they have to see in sitting with a client. It could be my appointments. I mean, I have got thousands of referrals, so I don't necessarily wait for them to find 2 people or whatever to come and watch, for me to watch them. They can come on my appointments. And I think one of the biggest thing is, you just mentioned this about the market. I ask people to do the list, but most times I don't really work through that list with them, because I do find, and I don't know if anybody says this issue, you think that sometimes you're saying for them it might be that people are a lot nicer because they're friends, but in my experience, friends and family are the hardest people to do business with, especially in our business, because it's their business, it's their financial life. They don't want to pull their bank statement out and show you and say, this is how much I earn and this is what it is and these are my debts. They don't want to do that with you. So it's kind of different in our field. But what we are very good at is getting referrals. So as I said, I've got about 300 referrals in my bag at the moment, and every time I'm between stops on the train, I try and make a couple of calls, because it's just so many people that I have to talk to, and my phone is always filling up, trying to go through my messages to try and catch up with people who've sent me names of people to speak to. So we have all these different ways of working, but as I said, yes, a warm market is the biggest thing that somebody need to work with, and it's really hard if somebody don't have anybody to talk to. It's really hard. It's not that you're going to send them on the road with a clipboard, which doesn't work.
Sure.
Yes,
sure.
Cold market really doesn't work in our kind of business.
Sarah, do you mind running us through month 1 with the distributor?
I'm very much about keeping things very simple for people, so they've got systems and structures in place, because I'm very much a person who is, show me what to do and I'll do it. So I like to teach that with people. This is the systems and the structures to put in place to make your life as simple as possible with this business. So I go through time management with people, helping them identify those time slots in their diary to fit their business in. I look through their network with them, and we pick out key players who could be great potential business partners, or people who might just like the products. We do some launches to get their business going, so I'll do a couple of product workshops with them to get the products out to people, and we'll do a business launch where we'll sit down with those key players and go through the business concept, or we'll do that through one-to-ones. And it's very much see monkey, do monkey. I like them to watch what I'm doing so they can learn how to do what I do, because I think it's much easier to learn when you watch someone else. We have a whole team website with all the resources that people would need. We have 2 monthly training sessions, which are big group trainings. We have global training conferences in Vegas, which sold me straight away. I was like, count me in, going to Vegas. So there's so much support and mentoring within the whole company that I love. And for me, that was a very important part of it. But also for me, it's very much about building a relationship with that new person, knowing what they want, identifying their needs, how quickly they want to progress, and then showing them what they need to do and how they need to do it in the timeframes that they've got. Because people can start a network marketing business under any time constraints. Whether they've got 3 hours, 5 hours, 20 hours, doesn't matter. It's about the focus that they're using and what they're actually doing in that time. Because you could have someone who's got 30 hours a week who isn't as successful as someone who's got 3 hours a week, because that person has laser beam focus, they know what they're doing in 3 hours, where the other person sits on Facebook. It's about knowing what to do. So I'm very much about teaching people what they need to be doing to get their business off the ground, the key important activities that are going to produce the income, and showing them where to put it in, and then showing them the personal development where that can fit in as well, because it's the combination of having the personal activity, which is the income producing stuff, with the personal development that will make people propel in the business.
Absolutely, yeah, for sure. Flo, in month 1, how would you take someone from being complete amateur in network marketing to actually seeing some income?
First and foremost, as soon as they come on board, it's planning. So basically, I want to know a little bit about them. What are your dreams? When are you wanting to achieve them? So do you want to run? Do you want to walk? So that I can match the pace. Because only when I determine exactly what they want out of the business can I plan what we're going to do. After that, there's activity. Like Sarah, I do product launches. I'll help them with one-to-one presentations, just so they can get into the groove. And that's where I think for us, your warm list is quite important. So that's just like your initial, I would say, database. And then we grow that, help you, show you how to grow that. And then every Sunday we have a weekly webinar. So our company is very structured. It's very hot. Investors in People Golden Champion, so extremely hot on structured training. So I'll take them through that, but I'll also lace it with inspiration and motivation, because and we're very big on mindset, because I think everything rises and falls on mindset, whether it's at work or especially running your own business. To really have to get up and go, you've got to have some wind beneath your wings. And so that's done on a weekly basis. And then we've got our head office is in Warri, but we've got quite a few centres, including a London office runs a lot of courses on a weekly basis, especially on Wednesdays. But we've got meetings all over, so people can tap into that. We encourage them to tap into that, so they can just be part of, meet different people, get inspiration from different ones. We're also very hot on social media. So what we've got is like a group page, and I like the fact that people can mentor each other. So I don't have to be there all the time. I've got a business running in nearly 20 countries, and I like the fact that sometimes I'm not there and they're talking about something, and then I go and I think, oh, okay, they've kind of sorted it out between themselves. So it's cross-mentoring as well, which I really like, and that's just in month 1, but it's very structured. This is what we're going to do in the first month, the first 30 days, and we'll tick to make sure.
Excellent.
Obviously, we are not rigid because people vary, but we'll have what we need to do in the first 30 days.
Yeah, brilliant. Okay, so in a moment, I want to get a bit more onto the compensation plans and the money, basically. You know, I know we've talked about network marketing won't work if you're just in it for the money, but network marketing can provide, outstanding income, and we talk about passive income. It's not truly passive because work is required, but when you get to a certain level and you have a large network of distributors, to some degree it is passive because money comes in from the efforts of other people without you having to do anything. So we'll get onto that in a second, but I'm aware there were some more questions. So Chris, did you have a question?
Yeah, I've got 2 actually, if I may.
Nice and loud, please, if
2, if
possible.
I may. You started off talking about the difference it made in your lifestyle in relation to time and what you were able to do. You suggested that part-time it starts off at 10 hours. Duration to be able to...
No, not really 10.
We'll answer the question. Continue. And
So we start off part-time, 10 hours part-time. Then you go on to becoming full-time. How long does it take you to go full-time, and how many hours a week are you doing that on full-time? And the second question, if you don't mind, is if you've got a very small network of people, how do you start?
I think the 10 hours that I mentioned was for somebody who was really serious about a business, who would say to me, I really want to do this, I want to get going. And I would invest, and I would be spending a lot of time with that person because of their goals and what they've decided that they want to do. Is it just like these two ladies said, you know, somebody with 3 or 4 hours can be very successful because they're really focused and they've got perhaps a really good network of people. I mean, when I came up to England, I knew nobody. I'd already built my business and I did have a passive income. It hasn't mattered for a long, long time whether I ever talk about this or not. What matters is that I share it, and I want to do that, which is why I do what I do still. But when I came up, I didn't know anybody, but everybody I saw has got a face and a body. It's funny that. And you kind of, and they've got needs and hopes and dreams, and how do I know? And within a few minutes of chatting with someone, you know, I can start a conversation, or they will start initiating a conversation, and I just, you know, maybe mention something or answer something that they've already said. You know, most people are actually looking. They're looking for a vehicle for freedom. They just, it may be subconscious, so they just don't understand that it's out there. And that's why I applaud you all for being here and just and listening. The second question, I don't know if someone else wants to answer. What was it about?
About the network.
Yeah.
The majority of my network was actually built from people I didn't know when I first started, because most of the people who I knew said no. And so I knew that I wanted to be successful no matter what their life was and where they were. So I was like, well, I'm going to do this anyway. And actually, I view it as just going out and making new friends.
Yeah.
So what you have to consider is everyone who is part of your warm network now was once a stranger to you, but you chose to make them a friend. So that's all you're actually doing, is going out and actually just having a genuine interest in other people and finding a need, because then you get a solution for the need, but you need to find out about that person before you can offer anything, because if you don't know what they're looking for. So part of what I do with a lot of my team is actually really focus on how to go out and speak to people, how to go and genuinely, you know, be interested in people, and all those skills about what to say.
I just would add something just in addition to that about not knowing anybody. One of the things, I mean, and I'm sure everyone here, you know, on the panel is kind of familiar with, is something called forming, where family, occupation, recreation, and message. And this is teaching you part of how you start a conversation with a complete stranger. So this is part of the training that you'll actually get. You know, instead of just saying, oh yeah, just talk to anybody, you'll actually have kind of structure in your mind of how you can get this conversation to build that network as well. Thank you very much.
Okay, brilliant. So, a late arrival. I'd like to just invite David DaCosta, who I believe comes straight from a presentation, so you've been working. Good to yeah, good to meet you, David. Please take a seat here. And David, we're in full swing. And perhaps you could just introduce yourself briefly, let people know the company that you work for and how you got into network marketing and kind of what stage you're at now with everything.
Okay, yeah, David DaCosta, 29 years old, from London. Currently in a company called Paycation, which is a travel agency basically. So basically it's a travel club that enables people to become qualified as a travel agent to get cheaper deals around the world. Obviously most people love to travel cheaper and actually get paid for their travel, to get paid commission back. And of course the network marketing side, finding people who love to travel and are looking for a way to get out of the rat race. So that's the business side of it. I started network marketing, I'd say a solid 2 years ago, solid 2 to 3 years ago, working for Sky TV for 9 years. Basically, my version of success was not millions of pounds and Lamborghinis and all the flashy little things. It was just to be able to be my future son and daughter's best friend, or my wife's best friend, to spend more time with my family and my kids than I do with my boss and my colleagues. So I was looking for something, because I found myself working nearly 20-hour days as a cameraman for Sky TV sometimes. And they told me a decent house in London is $250,000. They were paying me about £1,000 a month, and I was putting in too many hours, so I realised something's not going to match up. As a provider of a family, and it's not going to work. I'm not going to be able to be the husband or dad I would like to be. So a friend presented me with an opportunity to join a network marketing company, totally new to it, but I think I had some very good mentors, people that are in a better position than you, that in a position that you want to achieve. If you're a sponge, if you literally open up to take on the knowledge of somebody who's already done it and knows what they're doing, then you can really take on the information if you're coachable. And it got me out of the rat race. So I didn't make any money in my previous company, but the knowledge I earned,
I would value in the millions, and that's the knowledge I've taken into this company, which I think is one of the best opportunities out there, because most people love to travel. Just helping people to travel cheaper is great, changing so many lives.
Yeah, no, and that's really interesting because you immediately echoed, the thoughts of everyone else, in that you need people to show you the way, and you need to be serious, and you need to be committed, and you need to have a why. There's got to be a reason. And yours was that you wanted to make sure your family were looked after, and that's great. So how is network marketing changing, or how has it changed your life? Quickly, David.
It's really opened up so much. I mean, it's scary how blind you were before. When you really think about it, I mean, it's going to sound really like patronising for people who don't know about network marketing or who don't want to achieve more in life. But I mean, we are God's highest form of creation, and we can achieve big things. But I found a situation. I mean, there's a few things when I talk about progression in my meetings. I think of a story when I was 5 years old and I put my hand up, "Miss, can I go to the toilet?" And she always says, "Yes, go ahead, go to the toilet." And that's fine. But then the other day I was in a retail shop and I saw a gentleman about 40 years old ask his supervisor, who was about 20 years old, "Can I go to the toilet?" And he said, "No, we're busy on the tills, stay there for a few more minutes." And another instance where somebody who's not just an employee, a manager of an accountancy firm, had to rush out of her desk, rush home because there was a big incident at home. And as you do, family comes first, you have to help your family. She just rushed out to help her family, came back, explained the situation. They said, "Look, we understand with a big situation, but because you rushed out, every time you go to the toilet now, you need to email us." And when I heard that, I was like, wow, I mean, it really, and now looking at that from being in network marketing, having my eyes open, understanding there's more to life than just doing a 9-to-5 job. It really has changed everything. Now, we're obviously not trying to bash the 9-to-5 job. I honestly believe a 9-to-5 job is a great place to start. But if you're an entrepreneur, maybe it's not a great place to finish. So it funds your dreams, it pays the bills for now, and what you should be doing something on the side. So network marketing has literally changed every single fibre of my being. And before I used to want to help people, I just want to do things. But when you're so limited yourself, you haven't got any time, you haven't got any money to do anything for yourself, how can you really help so many other people? I'm not saying you can't, but it's harder. So when you do have your time and financial freedom, it gives you the opportunity to really reach out to the masses and help more people. So that's how it's changed my life. Yeah,
no, that's excellent. Would you all agree that one thing that network marketing gives you is freedom?
Absolutely.
Yeah. So we've talked about this a lot. Financial freedom is a term that's used, and I think everyone here would say that they're striving for financial freedom, but what exactly is financial freedom? That's the question, But I think certainly it's not, being accountable to someone saying, right, you're 2 minutes late to work, telling you that, telling you when you can go for lunch, go to the toilet, like you say, and then at the end of the month, bang, that's how much you're getting. Doesn't matter whether you've done well. You can do some overtime, but if you've worked really hard or not that hard, that's how much you earn. Whereas you've taken things into your own hands, and you've obviously seen very different results. So as I say, I want to just get onto the compensation stuff in a moment, and just so people here really understand what's possible through network marketing, and maybe some of the people that you've helped build networks, just to show people what is possible in the time frames and a rough idea of the amount of money that can be earned. But were there any more questions just before we continue? Sure.
Someone who's totally new, doesn't know the business, they are shy to talk to other people. How would you suggest that they go about this business, talking to people? There's one company I'm going to, they're saying, okay, we are coming new to UK, and we want you to join us, and create a team of 4. Fine. Someone who doesn't know many people and is shy, how will you create a team of 4 and teach those 4 to create another team of 4, and so on? So how exactly do you go about it?
Sorry, just in case anyone didn't hear, and for the camera. So someone who's looking at getting into network marketing, but kind of shy, hasn't really done this before, isn't sure about how to start speaking to people. How would you help them? Initially, what would be?
I think you kind of go back to part. I'm going to just you started this when you're saying about somebody who you didn't know before was a stranger became a friend. But it always go back to, as I said, if you say to anybody that you told me sitting next to them on the bus, wherever, and say, "So what do you do for work?" it's an easy conversation to ask somebody, even if you don't know their name. And you can, most people I see start conversations and introduce themselves after. Oh, by the way, I am, so most people, it's easy to ask somebody what they do for work. You think you could ask somebody what they do for work? Yeah. So that's starting a conversation. And so by asking people what they do for work, it can lead to other things. Something like, do you work around here? That's an easy question to ask somebody. No, I work in Tottenham. And so you start conversation. Occupation, I find, is one of the easiest things to ask somebody to start a conversation with them. And it comes back to the same thing about forming, just talking about their family, their occupation, what they do for hours recreation, which is what they do for fun or what they do in their spare time before you give the message. I think the challenge with it is when you don't know it initially, you're thinking about the message so much that you don't get a chance to ask the rest. But I'm sure any business that you go in, I would hope, would teach you how to do forming. Yeah?
There's an amazing book as well called Prospecting Rules by someone called Russ McNeil, and that is a great starting point for anyone who's really unsure about what to say. It's a really good starting point. And I often go with people if they're in that position and they are really unconfident, because I actually was 6 years ago. I was very shy. I didn't speak to people I didn't know, and people often find that really weird because I was a performer, but it's a very different thing being on a stage to actually being you. So I was very shy. I didn't really speak to people I didn't know. It was way out of my comfort zone. But I knew I could learn if someone was willing to teach me. So it's all about learning the necessary skills and how to do those things. And so what I often do is go with people and just show them how easy it is to start a conversation, and then just help them and encourage them to just start that conversation. It doesn't have to be even talking about network marketing or getting into, you'd be brilliant at what I do. It's just break that first boundary of starting a conversation, and then over time it will start to lead on to more.
I mean, I hear you talk. I think you're really investigating the industry of network marketing. Would that be correct from what you said?
I am currently in financial services,
right.
and I'm tired of it. It is over-regulated, and I've been in about 33 years, and also into property business. I'm looking for something which I can run by the side, and it continuously generates income. So,
I mean, you are part of what you would do as a process. You would actually look at various companies and decide, with some criteria in place, as to what do I need to be successful in order to have success in a network marketing business. Does it have all these things that I need? But we talk about not selling. We all know we don't sell. Everybody sells. In the end, what you're buying really, which is why we need to develop as people, is, will someone, as we talk with them and discuss with them, do they like you? Are they going to want to work with you? And does what you have ring their bell? Is it something that's meaningful and that is proven and that you can really feel good about? I knew that if I didn't tell my friends about because they saw my skin improve, they all many of them had started using the products. So they were all connected and were using the stuff and loved it. But when I discovered the real business behind it, I had to ring them up and say, I need to show you what I'm doing. And they said, we know what you're doing, and you got all that cream. It's fabulous, love it. I go, no, you've got no idea, I've got to tell you. And I said to them, I will show you this one time, and after that you'll have to beg. I am never coming back. And I really meant that, because my friends are really important to me, and I didn't want them to feel that I was coming back and having a crack at them. And what I didn't want them to feel also was that I had never told them. Wasn't I good enough to have this show? Because my lifestyle these days is extraordinary, and they know it. And when they say to me now, some of them, well, I should have got in when you did. It's nothing to do with that. Our business is going to grow. Our company is growing way faster now than when I was in it. That's why I'm back talking, because there's so much opportunity for people. But sometimes it's just a smoke screen. I didn't really want to do it anyway. It was just like. So we all know that. We all work with it. We work in the same industry.
With my friends, the first time I got them involved, they were like, oh, no, that's nothing. And now they see I'm still going. They're like,
maybe it was.
Conversations change.
Yeah.
It's completely like, also, they're all scared, and like, now they're like, oh, well, he's doing it.
Sure. Yeah.
But also, don't forget that before we were in network marketing, we're doing other things, and people are so used to you doing that, and then all of a sudden you become an entrepreneur, and they think, what? Yeah. I'm not going to do that. So they're waiting for stability. And what I've always said is success leaves a clue. And for me, what has spoken volumes in the 2 years that I've been in the business that I do has never been me knocking on people's doors. In fact, I have friends of mine asking for products, asking to join my team, I have referrals, and I grow my team now from a lot of people just saying flow, and seeing, because I think there's social proof. People can see, after all.
Yeah, it's an
It's a
attraction
product.
business.
Yeah.
It's an attraction business.
Yeah, sure.
The results speak for themselves.
So in terms of prospecting, so to speak, but ultimately, as we said, you need to talk to people, and people need to join the business for it to grow and for you to increase the income that you can generate through network marketing. So how do you go about finding people? And I go back to 2004 when I was doing my own network marketing business. Well, I actually bought a computer for the first time. Like, I didn't even have a computer before then, so I was just kind of getting into using the web and stuff. But now you've got social media. I mean, are there people using social media, and is it working? How's it work? How are you seeing people use it?
Social media has revolutionised the network marketing industry, because you can connect with people all over the world via Twitter. And again, I view it like face-to-face conversations. I just start a conversation with someone. If someone catches my eye and I love their profile, I'll start a conversation with them and see what they're doing, tell them that they've inspired me, find out what their life's all about, and see if there's anything that can fit with both of us. That is literally it. And I often just say to people, your profile has really intrigued me. I'd love to find out more about what you do.
Yeah.
Start a conversation and see where it may lead.
Well, that ties in, as I was saying earlier, Paul O'Mahony at the weekend just saying, use Twitter as a search engine, People are constantly telling you what their problems are, what they need help with. So, just type in and there'll be people there which you can start conversations with. Yeah.
Someone on Facebook, this was probably 4 years ago now, so it was my best friend at the time, who was the biggest Arbonne hater in the world, so very sceptical about network marketing, couldn't mention the word Arbonne to her. Her cousin, her Facebook status one day was, I'd rather be in New Zealand packing kiwis, because she did that as a job, than what the job I'm doing right now. So I just messaged her and said, look, I know we don't really know each other that well, but I'm Sarah's best friend. I've got something that might be of interest for you. And she was just like, yep, tell me. So we got on Skype and I shared it with her, and she joined my business, because she was at that point when she was looking for something. She was crying out for it.
Yeah. And that is another point, that timing is key. You may speak to people, and whilst you're ready to tell them about the opportunity, they're not ready to hear about it at that point. So it's very much about sowing the seeds and not pressurizing people, and understanding that whilst it's an amazing opportunity, just might not be the right time for them. And I think that's something that you probably have to really work on when you're new distributors, that they don't get sort of disheartened when they're working through their list. They've called 100 people, and
we like to say, when someone says no, it's not a no, it's a not now. Because if the product you're giving to somebody, or your service you're giving to somebody, if it is genuinely something that can help change and help lives, it doesn't really make sense for you to say no to it. But right now, maybe you don't visually see it, or they say, oh, no, I'm comfortable with my job. I had a friend say, no, I'm earning £2,000 a month, I love my job. I left it, and they got fired very shortly after. I said, now I need something. I didn't jinx them. I hope not. I think it's very important not to burn bridges. I had friends just make ridiculous fun of me. I was earning £1,000 a month at a 9-to-5 job, trying to do network marketing on the side, in the toilets, making 3-way calls, and they were making 3 times more my salary, laughing at me, saying, "You're this scam thing," until my income doubled theirs from my bedroom. But you don't go back to, I told you so, you're poor. It's even safer to keep your mouth shut, really, not to say so much, and then let them see. Because if you start saying, check my check now, let me send you my check. If you say that, you've lost it, and you genuinely want to be a good person and help them. Maybe they didn't see it, but government or whoever it is has done a great job in closing people's eyes as to the bigger picture. So it's not really their fault if they don't see the entrepreneurial mindset, what you're capable of. So you just want to really be humble, and if they do come back to you and say, hey David, I don't need to tell you my check, because if you look at my Facebook, somebody else is probably going to post something, and then they go, oh, I saw something on that. Is that really true? Could you help me with? And then they come back to you. It's an attraction business. You want to be humble, you want to be yourself.
Yes.
And the results, as you said, will speak for themselves.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think as well, Christine, for us, and I keep going back to where my business is slightly different to everyone else's, we have in our system a whole referral training and people knowing how to get referrals. So an average person will come out of a referral out of a meeting with about 12 referrals.
Right.
Now, if every client that you see give you 12 referrals, which is the problem we eventually start facing, is that we do not have time to see every single person. And as you're saying about the bank, I mean, nobody gives financial education. There was financial advice at one point, and that is dying, because nobody is giving financial advice anymore, because you got to charge for it. And so to be able to educate people to make informed decisions on their finances is an amazing thing, in that, you know, as I said, I still get messages. A client from 10 years ago just sent me on the weekend, you need to go speak to my brother, he needs to sort out his mortgage, he needs to sort out his life insurance, he needs to sort out everything. So these are people who are using the products and services, are happy with them. And, you know, even as far as my hairdresser, I walk in there and everybody in there knows me because of one client who I bought a policy for, who had a stroke 6 months after I wrote it, and they all knew that she got paid out. And so because of that, everybody just keep telling everybody that, you know what, the importance of protection. I was at the BAFTA recently, and Andrew Marr was talking about the importance of protection these days, because when you have a stroke, you recover, you go home, there's no more help for you once you get back into your house. And so that's the thing about it. You need therapy, you need all of these things, and it takes money to do all of these things. So for us, it means that people are realizing the importance of their health and everything else, and if they have no money to provide for those things, the next best thing is to make sure you're protected. So in terms of giving financial education, it's like everybody is sharing the same thing, good quality product, and like you said, it's us they're buying, it's not it's not the product, it's us they're buying. And once you've done a fantastic job, everybody is telling somebody else about you. So they just give you a chance to build a fantastic referral base as well.
Sure. So we've actually discussed over the past months different ways of creating an additional income whilst you've got a full-time job that can ultimately become more than what you're earning full-time, allowing you to leave and have much more freedom of time to build on that business and do all the things that you want to do. So let's just touch on what's possible with network marketing. I know that compensation plans and how much you can earn and how you can earn it can be a little bit of a complex subject. Obviously, we're not going to go into everyone's individual plans tonight and how that works. But for people here who are still looking for something to put their time into, you know, whether it's an online business, whether it's through property, or whether they're thinking about network marketing, maybe just give some ideas. In 6 months, in 12 months, if you work hard, if you build your team consistently, how much money can you be making, and where's the limit? So, Sarah?
There is no limit.
No, there's no limit.
It's up to you what you want to create, and I love that concept. It's your choice. So there are people who earn 6-figure monthly income streams in network marketing because they've just consistently built their business over time. And it's statistically proven that if you stick with a network marketing company for 10 years, you're 95% guaranteed to reach the top level. So for me, I just looked at that and I was like, look at the odds. Even if it took me 10 years to get to the top, would it be worth it? And when I looked at the average income of the top level, I was like, yes. And it's just through carving out those small, consistent pockets.
And what would be the average income of the top people in the Arbonne network?
Starting at around £15,000 a month upwards.
Yeah. And how quickly, if someone was really good, could they?
The quickest it's been done is 4 months.
4 months to £15,000.
Don't get me wrong, that is not the average. Most people don't do it in 4 months, but it's possible.
But someone's done it. That means someone else can do it even quicker than that. You know,
absolutely.
And I think one of the key things to really look for is timing and positioning as well. Getting into a market that obviously you're not changing someone's buying or spending habits. You're not saying all of a sudden now you have to breathe water. Like what? And so like something that people are already doing and they love to do, getting in at a good time, it can really even be excel a lot faster than for myself. I mean, it was about 9 months in my current business, Paycation, and it's just blown me away. I mean, seeing more money than I've ever seen in my life before, and it was literally 10 main people, just 10 people. It's grown to about 900 people, and it just comes down to the fact that it's travel. Somebody loves to travel. Most people love to travel. The income goes way over £5,000 a month, and that's fully residual. And it's not like some of the top incomes out there. I mean, I still call myself a baby in this. But for me, coming from humble backgrounds, I've survived on £10 for the week. It is something life changing, and I think you really want to look for a business that has a very strong residual component to it. You understand? I mean, if you do a business where you have to do something, and the next week do it again, the next week do it again, you've kind of still got a 9-to-5 job. What we love about network marketing is the residual side, that I can build something up that's willable, to pass down to future generations.
Absolutely.
Yes.
And they say, oh, daddy did something in 2015 to 2016, so that's why 18 years later, when my future son or daughter's born, it will be £1, 2 to £7 million a month
Absolutely.
in 18 years' time, which is a powerful thing to leave, instead of leaving debt to future generations, which most people do.
Absolutely.
To be able to leave this account that says whatever name you want to put on it, that's your son's name, your daughter's name, and the residual income keeps coming in. If they want to be a painter, they want a dancer, they can fund their dreams. They have to maybe go down traditional method of working 9 to 5. They can fund their dreams because they can pay their bills and mortgage through the income coming in from what their dad or mum created for them years ago.
It's brilliant. Forever Living obviously is a very well established company, over 30 years. So some of the distributors, just to give people an idea really, you know, what's achievable for someone who says, right, I'm going to come in 12 months, I'm going to work hard, I'm going to do everything you tell me to do. You know, what could they be expecting to be earning on a monthly basis?
12 months. It really depends on how much they put in, to be honest. I'll give you an example of Emma Cooper. Emma Cooper is an ex-police officer. She's been in the business for 15 months. Her take-home pay in May was £40,000.
40,000.
Now, £40,000, and you can Google her. She has an amazing work ethic. What she's done is taken every single thing she gave in the police force, translated it into the business. Then you've got Flo Bili, who's a lawyer, who's very much into time recording. For me, every single time counts, because I'm used to billing people. So I use that, and so in 3 months, when I went into Forever, I was a whiz kid. I went into Forever and I did things that people who had been in the business for a very long time hadn't done. So, but I've got people in my team, and that's why I say it, that I always say to people, what pace do you want me to take you? Because I can take you, we can sprint, or I could take you on a marathon. You could take the scenic route, or I'll take you the Speedy Gonzales route. Whatever it takes, I can mentor you and I can coach you through whatever speed you want to go at. So in 12 months, I can have a person who could be earning 2,000. In 12 months, I can have a person, a different person, earning 10,000, 15,000, 20, pushing to 20,000. But for me, I needed to do it mainly because it needed to make sense to me. I needed the money. I needed to justify why I was going to stay at home and not come back into the city. So I needed to do it within 3 to 6 months. I needed results. Totally different mindset, and I said whatever it takes. So but I don't push people in my team to do that. I just help them to go at the pace where they want to go at.
Sure.
How big is your reason? That makes a big difference.
Your why. How big is your why?
What do you have to add to that, Nina?
Yeah, I mean, the bottom line is that we get paid on volume moved anywhere in the world. So unless product's being moved, it's about the amount of people that are purchasing product, independently choosing to buy it for themselves. They've been connected somewhere along the line. When I looked at the compensation plan, I am absolutely useless with money. It's good I make a lot of it, because clearly if I had to organise it, I would not be good. But I think what I saw, and we're a publicly traded company, so I don't have to bandy off figures and so on that aren't true. We can look at averages, and I just looked at it and I thought, if I help 4 people build what we call an executive business, that's somebody moving about £2,000 worth of volume through their network of consumers, people are choosing to buy it, then that's about £2,000 a month, and that's okay. That'll be all right for a starter. But I was never really interested in that. That was just the starting point. But like you say, you can work through the levels. So 4 people is a couple of thousand. Helping 6 people is 6,000, and then so on and so forth. Now the top level for our company, on average, if you're average and you've helped 12 people build a business in any part of the world, then it's £23,000 at the moment on average.
Per month.
So somebody can be below average and they're probably not that heartbroken, or they can be well above average. I can remember the first time that somebody in our company got paid more than $1 million US for the month. But in his network, I think there were 3 or 4 of them that were paid around 800,000. So, you know, we're talking a lot of money here for people who really build this correctly. But it's not about us having to do a lot. It's about everybody doing a little bit. And everybody doing that so you can have your time freedom. If I had to go on training and trying to catch up with everybody, it's about me teaching someone to teach someone to teach someone.
Exactly.
And you're looking for the people who want to be taught. And I don't even know the people that are below me 3 or 4 levels down, because they don't need me. They might come and say hello to me at a convention, and I'm very delighted. I'm certainly very happy to talk with them and help them. I get paid on 6 executive levels of depth. It's phenomenal at 5%. And boy, does it fan out. You know, so there is a lot of money in any company if you do it right, and you're shown how to do this correctly. It's about the mentoring and the training and the coaching and having a great product.
Yes.
Would it be correct to say that when your network gets to a certain size, and as you mentioned, Nina, there's people you've never even met, you don't even know that they're part of your network, and you're earning money off these people each? Well, that's not the correct.
Well, we
I don't
are.
like to
I
put
mean,
it
in
like
the
that,
end,
but
it is like that because we deserve to be. I mean, we mentioned an instance. It was a young Thai man that came into my business a couple of levels down. And did a little bit and then stopped for various reasons. It's a long story. And all of a sudden, I just saw one day that things were just going absolutely crazy in my business. I'm going, what's happening? And this young man had decided that he wanted to help his Thai people. And many of them are working away from Thailand, desperately trying to make money, sending it back and so on. And he created a business that has left mine for dead in a year. I'm ecstatic. I get paid 5% on everything he does. He makes way more money than I do. I'm like, do you need me? No, I don't need you, Nina. Fantastic. Brilliant. You know?
Anyone fancy a business like that at all?
And I would never in a million years have thought it would. You don't know where you're going to find the people who go and fly with us. You know, but the reality is they wouldn't be there if it wasn't for me making my decision, for you and all of us.
Just quickly, I saw a question in the back there.
Yeah, I just wanted to know, when you first started out, of course you know about the top earners. Everyone knows about the top earners. Did you ever feel like a hypocrite saying to someone, yes, you can earn £2,000 a month, and you was clearly not making that? Like, how did you overcome it? How did you,
That's a good question. Well, I mean, if people ask me, they say I'm on track, because I am. As long as I'm doing what I needed to do in the early days, then it didn't matter whether I was making a little bit. You can't see the wood for the trees often. It's not about what you make in the beginning anyway, it's what you make down the track. So, in the beginning you're making very little, but in the end you're making a lot, depending on what your magic number for freedom is. Mine was a lot. I needed a lot. I needed to do a lot of help. I wanted to be able to help people, make a difference, and for that you need money.
And look at the evidence within the company. If there's people within the company who are earning that, then they're no different from you.
No.
They're the exact same person. They've just been doing more for longer, probably. So if you're following in their footsteps, there's absolutely no reason why you won't have what they've got. And for me, that was the biggest thing, is surrounding myself with those people who were really successful, so I could see exactly what they were doing, going, right, well, I'm doing what they're doing, so I'm on track. Even if I'm not earning what they're earning yet, I'm doing the same steps, and if I am, then it's inevitable that I'll have what they've got.
And another thing for that as well that I would say, if you kind of look at your background and where you're coming from, and hindrances and the obstacles that you have in your way to get there. Like, for example, I've got a mother on my team, mother of 6, doesn't drive and works full-time as a psychotherapist and still does the business. And so if you look at somebody like that, I know people are not really asking her, how much are you making? They're kind of looking at, wow, if with 6 kids, her youngest is 3, her eldest is 16, and she can still build a network marketing business around all of that. People are not asking her right now what her income. They're saying, I can do that. We don't even want to know how much you're making, because if you can still manage to build a business in all of that, that is what it's about.
Not being scared of progression. Obviously, when you first get started, yes, you're not going to be earning millions, or somebody else maybe. You say, oh, here's my friend, here's my mentor earning X amount of millions. I've just started. It's all about progression. When you start a normal traditional 9-to-5 job and you're on your second day, no one's going to ask you, oh, how much did you make? So it's progression. It's all about progression.
Yeah.
But like you say, it's network marketing is a business of testimonials. There will always be somebody who has a similar situation to yours. And I liked that. I was able to model myself, and I was able to look at circumstances and people's situations, and that's what inspired me. They can do it, I can do it too.
So we're coming close to the end now. I know there's a couple more questions which we'll get to in a second, but I just want to put what I feel is quite an important question out there, because obviously on stage here we have 6 fantastic high performers. However, I also see the other side of people in network marketing who aren't making, much money. And what is the one single thing, the difference between someone who's a success like yourself and those that just, find it difficult and just, drop out, myself included, back in the day? And what is there one single thing? I would say attitude is probably a big part of that, but from your experiences, Nina?
Yeah, I think the one thing between all of us at top level is a burning desire, something we really, really wanted to change something. And that was key, really was key, because we come from all walks of life. And it's very important, to hear people's stories, because you kind of go, look, a farmer's wife from New Zealand can do this, seriously. I mean, what do I know about skin or nutrition or anything else? I just, I learned, and I know how to teach people how to do this as a business. That's what I learned to do. So
I'd agree, it's a burning desire. You have to want something enough to make you get out of bed to do it, because there will always be stuff that happens in life, and there'll be rain and something on the TV that you might want to watch and you'll be tired after work, but there has to be something inside that makes you go, this is taking me towards where I want my life to be, and if I don't do this, then my life isn't going to be where I want it to be. So it's that thing that keeps you going no matter what.
Okay. Flo?
Couldn't agree with these more, because I think the burning desire, that's the beginning of everything else. That's what will keep you on track. That's what will give you the oomph to have action. But I also think you need to learn. In this industry, if you don't learn the basics, it can get a little bit hard to turn around the corner.
That's where the mentoring and the support is crucial.
But I will say this, and I maybe panel members might disagree with me. People who are not coachable find it really difficult to work in this industry. So maybe because a lot of people, like all of us here, want to make money, but to learn the skills of the trade. And it never ceases to amaze me. I couldn't have been a lawyer if I hadn't gone to law school. And when you tell people you've got to come for training and understand what you need to do, no. And that's where a lot of people fail. Training.
Yeah, very good. Yeah, anything to add to burning desire?
Yeah. A lot of people just try to, like you saying, they try to bend the rules or make it differently, or try to find shortcuts, or like, oh no, but if you do it like this, no, I don't need to buy any stock, because I just, I'll talk to this person. It doesn't work like that. It's all about the experience, and also like people just stop. There's a lot of people they just stop because they don't have a plan, they don't know where they're going, and they just stop.
There's a phrase that makes me
lost.
Yeah, the phrase "some will, some won't." Yes. So what next?
Yeah, exactly.
And you have to just accept that with some people. David?
Just to touch on what you just said, and SWs, some will, some won't. So what next? SW, someone's waiting. Just to keep going. So that as you mentioned, people struggling. I mean, there's nothing wrong with struggling, but it's the people that quit. And again, it comes down burning desire, which we call a why. If your why doesn't make you cry, then it's not deep enough. Why do you want to do this? Is it just a Lamborghini? Is it a gold watch? Maybe that's not really deep enough. It's something deep rooted, which what is the consequence of not achieving what you want to do? Is it so dire that you can't stop? A very famous man said, until you want to breathe more as much as you want to succeed, that's when you really know. And like you touched on before, mentorship. If you've got somebody in your business who's a top income earner, clearly the system they use works. For you to try and adjust it means obviously you're going to get different results. So being coachable, as you said, if you're not coachable, you're not willing to do it the right way, then go ahead and try it your way, but you're not going to be guaranteed anything. It may work for you, it may not. But just be coachable. Have good mentorship, have good leadership in your business, people around you, somebody who's actually done it before, who's gone through the pitfalls that you could possibly face, because if he's already gone through a pitfall that was tough, He's going to help steer you around it. Be coachable. When you go to an event, if there's somebody speaking at the front of the room who's earning a lot more than you should be taking notes. And it's the people that keep coming back again to get the emotional boost, to keep coming to the meetings and events. Yes, I've seen it all before, I've heard it all before, but you're only going to get bored if you haven't got a guest sitting next to you. Keep coming back, keep learning. Until you're earning the income you want, obviously there's clearly something more you need to know. So just being coachable and just never quitting.
Yeah. And so finally, if someone is not getting the income that they currently want, what's the next steps to?
I was just thinking about Napoleon Hill, and he said something that's very crucial, that everything begins in the form of a clear, concise mental picture of what you want. And the thing is, some people's goal or whatever it is you want is so fuzzy that they can't even see it. So really, if they don't achieve it, oh, that's fine. So it's not really a goal, it's just a little wish that they have. And that is the thing, you're saying it should burn you up so badly that, you know, if you don't get it, you're going to die. You just couldn't live with yourself on having this thing. And, you know, my older vice president, I became a vice president in 5 months. It's about the fact that he never trained me. He just kind of said, go get him tiger, there you go. You know, that was on my own. But he said something to me once. He said to me, if your baby is in the car and it's like 30 degrees outside and you can't find your car keys, would you stand around and wait for the AA to come, or would you smash that window and take the baby out? I said, I would. Well, that's the same kind of passion you need to have for business. And that is it. Until you get that fire in the belly, as they call it, you will not succeed.
Yeah. I think that really clearly shows that network marketing works. You know, if you want it to work for you, it can work.
Absolutely.
Online business can work. Trading can work. Property investing can work. You know, you've got to make a decision, test them out, do your research, look into the company or the people that are offering you the opportunity. See if it's for you, because if it's not your natural flow and if it's not something that you will have passion and enjoy doing, then you probably won't be successful. So network marketing, I think we've shown tonight through 6 different companies and 6 different distributors who are all very much making the business model work, and it's a matter of deciding, is network marketing for you, and speaking to these guys and finding out a bit more. But I think it's been a fantastic conversation that we've had tonight. We really have learned a lot. Is there any final questions anyone has? Adam?
I mean, so what was the biggest sacrifice you had to take throughout your journey, if there was any?
I had to spend time away from my 3-year-old, and nobody would babysit for me. I used to take her on appointments. She would weed my car because nobody would babysit. Everybody told me to go back to my 9 to 5, and for me, the time I spent away from her was the biggest sacrifice I had to make to build a business.
I'll say, so you may lose some friends. You may lose some friends, but you have to understand, I mean, there's a certain type of friends that you don't really need or want. If you're looking to make a 6-7 figure income, there's certain things you can't really have around you. I mean, someone like Jay-Z, there's certain friends he had back when he was in the ghetto that you can't really have now when he's in the boardroom with talking to Apple. There's certain friends you don't want to have with you. The friends that are so, not just negative or skeptical, but they actually want you to fail. Actually, really, there's a bit of venom there. You may lose some friends, but when you do network marketing, you're going to grow a team of family who are better friends. When you decide, hey, 15th of the month, payday, let's fly anywhere, Hawaii, who's up for it? You've got a bunch of friends now who have the time and financial freedom to just go away with you. So you've got a better quality of friends who want to help other people as well. So the negative, evil friends that you do lose in the process, it's not going to be so bad. I've lost a few friends. I've made some better friends. So that's one of the things you have to be prepared to do.
Okay. Any final questions, Lesh?
I've been in network marketing for a while. The thing I struggle with is, how do you find your why if you've been searching for it for a long time and you still can't find it?
I think for me, a lot of people, I mean, it took me a long time, because even though I'm saying about the CCMP, I remember my why wasn't about me, it was about my daughter. And that is it. Sometimes that why that you're looking for is not about you, and it is about somebody else. And it's digging and really digging and find out what it is. I mean, if somebody hurt my daughter, listen, I would kill somebody. Somebody could do me something and I forget it. But if you were to hurt my daughter, I would kill you. And that is that kind of thing where I found something that wasn't about me. And sometimes your why is not about you. And sometimes it is about something negative, that if you don't want this negative thing to happen, that kind of become your why. in a more positive way. So sometimes it's not about having a particular thing, it's about not having something if you don't achieve this, that sometimes that's what becomes your why.
Yeah, a good friend of mine called Magic, actually, and he was in the same situation as you. I don't really have a why. Maybe life's a bit comfortable right now, so I'm not struggling financially so much, or this or that. But then what he did, he put himself in a position that he just wanted to work hard to never be in that position. He went to go and work in the worst restaurant, like cleaning the dirt and literally hardly any pay, in a smelly place, a place that would just literally make you throw up. And he went to work there, and then he thought to himself, look, I'm willing to do something so I never ever get in this position again. Maybe you feel comfortable where you are now, but I mean, you know that not many normal 9-to-5 jobs are that secure. Something could change. You want to do something to put yourself in a position where you never feel you could ever go back to such a dire position. So it's a very good question, but a very hard one, really, because it can't just be anything. Oh, I just want to be rich. It's got to be something deep rooted, and sometimes it takes a while to really something changes in your life that adjusts. Because family members I have that say, "Oh no, I'm not doing network marketing. I love my job. I enjoy doing what I do," but then a baby's born, and now all of a sudden, typing on the computer is not as fun as holding that precious infant. So things can change. So you just always keep looking and seeing what's around you.
I would question, sit down with yourself and just say, why am I doing this? And everything that comes to mind, just say, but why is that important? And keep asking it over and over, and it's kind of like peeling back the layers. Because I had that same problem to begin with. I wouldn't say I was in a comfortable position, because as a performer, I was constantly like this with my career and income. But I still couldn't quite work out what my purpose was. It was this battle I was having in my head, and someone did that with me. They said, right, why are you doing this? And I said what I thought the reason was, and they were like, but why is that important? So I said another thing, and then they were like, but why is that important to you? Why do you want that? And the more and more it came down to self-worth and success. And that was my driver, completely my driver. So it's like peeling back those layers.
Thank you. Yeah, I just struggle with a similar question. The why has never been easy to just, the big houses, the Ferraris and stuff. Yeah, great, it'd be nice to have them, but it's not really, it doesn't get you out of bed every morning. It's certainly not for me. But someone suggested actually at the weekend, well, think about other people, think about the other people, how you can help them. And actually, as soon as I did that, that's a real good driver, that. So instead of what do I want, what do I want for other people, and how do I want to change, my family, my friends, your partners. That can put a completely different perspective, and that really can help. So, any other, Evan?
So there was a question a while ago about how to find people to talk to when you have a very small network. You mentioned talking to people on a bus. Yeah. I'm curious, what percentage of the time, when you put 10 hours of work in a week, how much of that time is spent chatting up people you've never seen before in a bus? Is that what you do? How
do you I speak to people unscheduled. Meaning, if I'm going to the supermarket, it's all about making contact with people. I never ever think I'm talking to this person because I want them to join forever. No, I don't do that. And I find myself, I'd cringe because I think I'm being unethical. I speak to people so I can connect. I just love connecting with people. I used to like connecting even before network marketing. So all I'm doing 24/7 is when I meet people, I want to talk to them, and sometimes they talk to me. This lady came up to me the other day and said, "I love your necklace." That was the beginning of a conversation. By the time she's leaving, "Are you on Facebook? We need to communicate." We were not going to. I don't know what we're going to communicate about. I want to build rapport. Nina said something that is so important. There's got to be rapport. Yeah. It's not everybody that you meet that's got to be in your business. Some people, let's just know and meet and network. It's the power of networking, and that's it. So you're constantly, and I think when you become a network marketer, it becomes easier because now it's on your mind. But we are always doing that anyway, unless you don't talk to people. But then if you come into the business, we help you to talk, to show you, so that you become more friendly.
You don't it's just normally a confidence thing.
Is there a stress if you get to the end of the month and you know you have to, if your income is depending on it? Yes.
Well, when you say stress, I don't know, because people's circumstances vary. When I joined network marketing, I was still working full time. And I started working part-time when my income started matching. So it varies. So I would think at any particular point in time, everybody that goes into any business venture, not just network marketing, must always make sure they've got an income, they've got a buffer just before. Because network marketing is just like any other business. You won't just go straight into profit if you started a business. So you want to place yourself. So when your income now is steady and is robust, then now you can start making choices. And I always think that, I think Sarah touched on this, we all do an inventory of the skills that we have in any type of situation. If making friends is not one of a person's greatest strengths, there is help, mentoring and support to enable them to start becoming more friendly and more confident in actually reaching out to other people. We have a message for other people to help them to become better, and that's why we're network marketers. A product, a service, and a change, a hope for the future.
That's why network marketing only attracts a certain type of person. It will only attract people who do genuinely care about other people, and it might just be a confidence thing that's stopping that person actually speaking to other people, but it doesn't attract nasty people.
No.
I leave quite fast.
Yeah.
Can I just one thing?
One quick thing, one final question, and then that will allow us enough time just for a little bit of networking. I know some of you probably would love to speak with everyone up here. So,
a lot of people refer to network marketing as epic personal development. So it's a university, and it really does change you positively.
Final question.
Along your journey in network marketing, what would you say has been kind of like your personal biggest obstacle along the route? Because I get that, you know, network marketing, there's a system to follow. I get that, you know, but you know, within yourself or even as part of the system, what's been your, say, number one blocker, you know, along your journey?
Good question.
Me. The only person who gets in your way in network marketing is yourself.
I think
your ego and your confidence is just like.
For me, it was helping the wrong people, and I don't mean that they were the wrong people. They just didn't really want it, and wanting it for them too much. You know, thinking I used to laugh and think I wanted to save every Mary in the dairy. I just thought that surely they would be there, you know. And so I'd think, oh, I've got this, you know, and they kind of were there. Maybe that's where they were going to stay. Sometimes they didn't always. But what I've learned was that you can help people if they want to be helped. And so it's not sitting there hoping for them or wishing for them more. It's doing for them what is right for them at this point in time. Because most people will end up just using products, and that's great, you know, it's all part of our network. But the ones who want something, it's working with them and helping them and guiding them and mentoring them on that journey and working for them as hard as they want. They can never exhaust me. I don't even sleep. It's like, you know.
I think for me, mine was in discipline though, because I hate this rigid thing of, and Noflo was saying that, you know, the conference call every Sunday. I don't like it. That was my biggest thing. I don't want it. You could have a random thing like you said, okay, next week we're going to have one on a Saturday or something, but every Sunday I'm there thinking, oh, is it 6 o'clock yet? It's 6 o'clock. So in discipline was my biggest thing, and to find time to sit down and call my referrals. You know, and I'm still challenged by it, if I'm being honest. To sit down to block time or to say, right, this is phone call time, no distraction. Yes, no distraction. I don't have a problem making the calls, that's the thing. But it's, you sit down and then suddenly, oh, I had this that I needed to do, I had this bit of paperwork I needed to finish. And I have a PA that works for me 5 days a week. So I shouldn't even be doing paperwork. So what I do now is I just go to Starbucks.
Another big thing is a job mentality that's in the mind. Job mentality where now you own your business. Nobody's telling you to come in. Nobody's going to set your timesheet, and you've got to do it yourself. And it's scary because, I mean, your income is based on what you do, rather than sometimes you can go to 9 to 5, you can hide in the corner, still get paid, and it feels nice and safe for a while. But just adjusting the mind to think outside the box and think like an entrepreneur, take in the right information, personal development, and grow the mind so you can actually think big and actually, not just be stuck in the way you used to think before, which is maybe comfortable, but it can be dangerous. And let's be honest, if you do what is easy, life will be hard. If you do what is hard, life will be easy. So adjusting the mindset can be a big obstacle.
And I think that is a fantastic point to leave it. Has everyone enjoyed the discussion tonight?
Yes.
But I just think it's
Yes,
amazing what he's
absolutely.
done.
Thank you. And funnily enough, feels like these guys could talk all night. So we'll have to call it a day. We're actually meant to be out of here by 10. So we've got 10 minutes just to do a little bit of networking. Thank you to all of you. I think that was wonderful. And thanks everyone for coming. And we'll see you. I will post up everyone's details for anyone that wants to connect outside of tonight. So, and we'll see you all next month at the social and on August the 5th. So, thank you.
Thank you very much.